also to set out what the Conservative Party is about, which is about freedom and it's about opportunity. And opportunity matters to somebody like me. I come from a working class family. My dad was a labourer for the electricity company. My mum was a correspondence clerk, and I'm the first person in my family to go to university. I want that opportunity for doing as much as you can do to be open to everyone. And I have to say, for my parents, the fact that I'm standing here, nominated as a candidate to be the leader of my party and have a shout at being Prime Minister, is something I think it's fair to say, when they brought me home from the hospital 49 years ago, probably wasn't on the list of things that they thought I was going to do. That's not what people from my family kind of had on the to-do list. So let me kick off with my Brexit plan, because actually we have to start there, because if we don't get Brexit delivered, however much we want to talk about other things, we're not going to get the opportunity. So my plan is realistic and it is credible, and I think, having listened to the other candidates, it's the only one that is. I am prepared to leave if I'm given the choice between not leaving at all and leaving without a deal. I am prepared and comfortable with leaving without a deal, because the British people gave us an instruction, and that has to be delivered, and it is not acceptable to not deliver it. But my preference is to leave with a deal, because I think that's better for the country, I think it's better for the integrity of the United Kingdom, and I think it's better for our politics. And the reason why I think I am the right person to do that is because, frankly, everyone else in this race has at some point over the last 3 years been sat around the cabinet table and has participated in the decisions that have led to not leaving the European Union 3 years after that referendum. Every single one of them has participated in the fundamental misjudgments that have got us to where we are. And I think we need a fresh approach. And I think it's going to mean these three things. It's going to mean the Prime Minister sitting down with the Cabinet and the Conservative Parliamentary Party and doing effectively what my colleague Kit Malthouse did, getting us to a position that we can agree on, so that when you go into that European Council chamber, you know exactly where you can afford to give, where you have to hold the line, and what you can get through Parliament when you get back. It's a very narrow landing zone. It's going to have to be delivered on our benches, with our DUP allies, and probably no more than a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of Labour MPs. That's as good as it gets. We're not going to carry this with a majority of 50 or 100. It's going to be 10 or 15. It's going to be in that order of magnitude. To get permission to sit around the table with our European Union partners, it's going to mean getting some credibility with the Irish government. So a priority is sitting down with the Taoiseach and the leader of Fianna Fáil, the opposition party in Ireland, and getting them to understand that we mean what we said when we signed up to the Belfast Agreement. We mean to deliver a border in Northern Ireland that is infrastructure-free, so that the people of the North and the Republic can cross that border freely as they do today, and as I saw for myself last year. It's only if they buy that and they believe we're straight and credible on that they're going to be prepared to sit around a table with our EU partners and discuss these issues. I think we've got to put a real effort into getting Stormont back up and running, because I think that will provide a structure to build confidence with both communities in Northern Ireland and all of the political parties, and that will be an essential component of getting that credibility. That gets us round the table. To get a deal, I think it's going to mean showing our European Union partners a bit of stick and a bit of carrot, but in a diplomatic way, about what we bring to the table as the largest military power in Europe, the preeminent contributor to security and intelligence relationships in Europe that helps keep everyone safe, and also what a Britain with a good relationship with our European Union partners will look like when we leave. We're leaving the European Union, we're not leaving Europe, and I think we have to show them that it's worth sitting around the table, and let's face it, going back on what they're going to say for the next 2 months, that they're not prepared to change anything about the withdrawal agreement. And the message I would have for them is, it must be very clear to you by now that the withdrawal agreement, unchanged, isn't going to get through Parliament. If they really hold to not being prepared to talk about it at all, they are saying that they want us to leave without a withdrawal agreement, and I don't think that would be a reasonable position. The reason why I think a no-deal threat is credible is because I think if we approach our European Union partners in a spirit of openness and we bust a gut, we do everything we can to get a deal, and they're simply not prepared to budge, then in those circumstances and only those circumstances will there be a majority in the House of Commons to leave without a deal. And that's why I think a no-deal is credible, but it's only credible if you have strained every sinew to get a deal, which is why I'm afraid the bit where I perhaps will make myself not popular with my colleagues is when I say that it is not going to be possible to leave on the 31st of October. I would love to. I voted in Parliament to leave on the 29th of March. I voted to leave on the 12th of April. I voted against extending Article 50 twice. But not enough people in Parliament did so. And I'm afraid it is not credible to say you can renegotiate the withdrawal agreement and get it through both Houses of Parliament by the 31st of October. It's not credible to say that you can somehow make Parliament vote for the existing...
Well, Mark Harper, their former Chief Whip...